I'm not. I can't afford to not record.
Welcome to the BYOK Live, where we discuss the trending stories, strangest dilemmas, and real life topics. Okay now, lovelies, let's get into some things. Hello. It is Wednesday, October 19th, and this is another episode of BYOK 2 Cents. I do not know what is in the energy and in the air, but I have just been so tired lately. Like, really tired. I don't know if it's just the change in the seasons or just a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get done or whatever. But this week has been kind of slow going and busy at the same time. But I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be here. This is Wednesday. As announced yesterday, BYOK will not be going live after next Tuesday for 2 weeks. So I will miss you all. But when we come back, we will be added to another platform, which is Fluent Radio. So we're super excited to be added to another platform and elated by that. So if you are on YouTube, please subscribe, like, hit the notification button. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Be Your Own Kind 24, and you can always go to my site BeYourOwnKind.com just to get into whatever we got going on. So it is 10:21. I'm starting a little late. Today I got a little push back, but I'm so excited to get this started. So yeah, let's get started. So this episode is just a little laid back and chill because I didn't really get a chance to find something like pressing to talk about. And it was some stuff that I found, but I need to research it before I just get on here and be like, I don't like getting on here and not knowing entirely what's going on because it looks scatterbrained. But anyway, I want to get into this by the only Jason Lee. I saw this, he was trending, him and Armand Wiggins, if you are a YouTuber. And so I follow all of them and what was going on. But I came across something that was super inspirational from what he said. And this is so his mentor is Floyd Mayweather, and he's his mentor, and he took a chance out on him. And I'm always told that it only takes one person to take a chance on you. And I just want to refresh this speech so you can hear it.
Come on, please. We all go through certain things in life. But like I told you in the beginning, I believe in you, and I will continue to believe in you. And this is just the start. This is still just the start. We're going to push this company, Hollywood Unlocked, to the limit. The same, just like I did with my career. My philosophy is never stop fucking getting it.
I let me say this, and I want you to come here too. I was a fan of the culture, pop culture, celebrity culture, and then I met these two, and I didn't see their celebrity. And the reason why I don't see their celebrity is because they were the first to see me. Floyd told me when I said, "Oh, I'm gonna create Hollywood Unlocked," and he has a short attention span, like I'm not listening to what you tell, whatever. At first. And then I left and went to Kinko's and brought him all those handouts and made everybody read them. And he was like, yo, he ain't fucking playing. And he told me, he said, if you just keep working, don't focus on the house, the cars, the jewelry, all that shit will come. And when you get it, it ain't going to make you happy anyway. Just stay focused on the work, become obsessed with what you do, and you're going to be at the top. And one day I looked up and I had everything he told me I was going to get. And the reason why I believe I got there is because I learned the 48 laws of power. That you submit to don't ever try to outshine your master. Let somebody mentor you. And I let him mentor me, and I listened, and I was obedient to those lessons. And all that discipline has led me to where I am. And so I want to publicly say to you that I appreciate you and your friendship.
And what I love about what he says is learn to listen. Don't be a person where can't nobody tell you anything. And even if you have learned from someone else and you're rising above, don't forget those people you started with, and don't try to outshine the people that gave you the wisdom, because here's the thing, they've been doing it longer than you. And although you may think that, hey, you're one-upping them in wisdom and experience, they're always ahead of you. And it's not a competition anyway, right? It's a marathon. So I love the fact that he said that, like, no matter how big I get, I'm never going to try to outshine or one up my mentor. And I think that's very important, to always have an open spirit and always be open for correction, always be open for constructive criticism. Learn how to discern between toxic toxic and positive criticism, because here's the thing, sometimes constructive criticism we are not going to agree with. Sometimes constructive criticism is going to hit something inside. That doesn't make it toxic. If it's the truth, it doesn't make it toxic. It just hurts your feelings. So learn how to discern between the two. So let's just read this caption from the only Jason Lee. He said, mentorship is not easy. It requires oneself to set aside ego, to focus on the bigger picture, to develop a level of trust to allow the process to take place. At the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, this unplanned moment happened, and I took the time to share what I learned. For years, people have not understood why Floyd Mayweather allowed me inside his inner circle. And I hope from this video you can see the mutual respect. I will always be grateful to those who have been a part of my journey and the lessons learned along the way. And I love this. I thought that this was a moment. I really did. And so I thought I would share that, because I think of like all the people that have said and shared their experiences with me. And in my 20s, I knew too much. Like, I knew it all. I knew nothing, but I knew it all, but knew nothing at the same time. And now, like in my late 30s, I'm just like, man, I remember when they said that, and how many hurdles would I have avoided had I just listened. So I learned to listen now. I learned to listen now from, the times that I didn't listen, but I wanted to become a person where somebody could tell me something. And it doesn't even matter the age, because there have been people younger than me that have just pricked my heart and have told me things that have just changed my whole mindset. So when people take out the time to pour into you, respect that time and honor that time, and listen, because I feel like that is God's way of speaking to you through someone else. So I just thought I would share that. So this next topic, it is not as encouraging. I saw this courtesy of apnews.com, where a woman charged accused of freeing swarm of bees on deputies because she didn't want to get evicted. Now, this happened in Springfield, Massachusetts. In Chicago, something similar. Well, she actually killed the landlord, but people that are getting evicted, they're not taking it too well. But first of all, where did she get the bees from? Okay, let's read this. So a Massachusetts woman is facing multiple assault and battery charges for allegedly releasing a swarm of bees on a group of sheriff deputies. Some of them allergic to bee stings as they tried to serve an eviction notice. They're just doing their job. So Rory S. Woods, who's 55, pleaded not guilty, I don't know how, at her arraignment on October 12th in Springfield District Court, and was released without bail, citing court records reported on Wednesday. Her lawyer did not immediately respond to a voicemail left by the Associated Press on Wednesday. The Hampton County Sheriff's Department deputies went to a home in Long Meadow on the morning of October 12th and were met by protesters, according to the official department report. Woods, who lives in Hatley, soon arrived in an SUV towing a trailer carrying beehives. The report says she started shaking the hives, broke the cover off one, causing hundreds of bees to swarm out and initially sting one deputy. That is a lot of energy and a lot of risk, because they could have stung her too, unless, I guess, they're her bees. So Woods, who put on a beekeeper suit. Oh, okay. Reading is fundamental. Woods, who put on a beekeeper suit to protect herself, was eventually handcuffed, but not before several more sheriff's department's employees were stung, including 3 who were allergic. So she could have potentially killed them. When Woods was told that several officers were allergic to bees, she said, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." Hampton County Sheriff Nick Kochi said, Woods could have faced more serious charges if anything worse had happened than those stung, like if they'd have died. We had one staff member go to the hospital, and luckily he was all right. That is a lot of energy to get all she had. I see in the back bees. So she keeps bees and she used them as a weapon to not get evicted. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy. I wonder, I mean, if she's reaching the point of eviction, she hasn't paid her rent in a mighty, mighty long time, yet she can be a beekeeper. Um, I don't know. I'm glad that nobody got killed, and I hate that she didn't want, that she couldn't afford, or we don't know if she could afford or couldn't afford her home. But now, she faces charges, and that's even worse than even being evicted from her home. Um, so the next subject is Netflix. So here's the thing: how many of you that watch Netflix actually own the account? Not many people, right? I guess I'm the Netflix account holder. I have a lot of people on mine. But there are that a lot of families share Netflix accounts, because why are we paying for things that we could, we could easily share? Like, I swap stream services with my family. Like, we all, one pays for one and everybody's on it. So Netflix is sick of it. They're sick of it. So, courtesy of the Jasmine brand, Netflix password sharing restrictions go into effect early next year. Streaming service planning to monetize account sharing. So, starting in 2023, Netflix intends to tighten down on password sharing in order to monetize account sharing. So, I think the bill finna get higher, y'all. More broadly, the streamer claims it will begin allowing members to create sub accounts. Netflix ran trials with consumers in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru. Customers were requested to pay an additional fee for a sub account if Netflix identified an individual was using the owner's membership outside of their household. This is part of the earnings report released by Netflix, which states that the corporation attracted 2.4 million customers this quarter as it prepares to debut its ad-supported tier next month and crack down on password sharing. Have you seen that Hulu ad going around where you pay $500 where you can like advertise your business? So it looks like Netflix is doing the same thing. Um, Netflix was a game changer, like definitely a game changer. At first, when Netflix started, you would get the DVD and rent it out, mail, and you get it back. So that was it. And then next thing you know, they turned into an Apple pretty much. Um and then we're streaming like we are now. So Netflix put a lot of blockbusters and all of those movie companies pretty much out of business. And so what they didn't account for is everyone else. When you set a trend, everyone else jumps on it. So now all of these streaming platforms, you got networks that have streaming platforms, which are, like popular shows like The Office and stuff are being removed from Netflix because now they're on the network's own streaming platform. So now you have all of this competition and all of these different shows. And so Netflix now has to keep up with its competitors, just like Facebook is trying to keep up with its competitors, because a person will mimic, but then they'll add something to it that makes it more convenient, more accessible, right? So I think they're losing money. My point is, if I have one account, right, and if I have like 3 or 4 people on my account, how much money are they losing? Because they're getting my little, what is it, $24 or $12.90? I don't even know what it is because it just comes out of my account. But let's just say, for argument's sake, it's like $15 when they could potentially be getting 60. You know what I'm saying? So it's they're losing a lot of money, and that money adds up. So I understand why they're adding this sub account situation to their platform. So it says that Netflix claims to have gained 104,000 paying members in the United States and Canada in the previous 3 months, increasing from 73K during the same time in 2021. Netflix is also planning to develop an ad-supported subscription service. The streaming service they are launching is $6.99 per month, ad-supported tier named Basic. I'm not getting that. If I wanted commercials, I'd get cable. Basic Basic will be available on November 3rd. The platform is collaborating with Microsoft to show advertising to users, which will run between 15 and 30 seconds. Due to licensing constraints, this new tier does not provide customers access to Netflix's entire collection. Basic customers are also unable to download anything and can only view material in HD. Will Netflix new structure impact you? It will not impact me, but it may impact the people that are on my account. So, what are your feelings on that? Because it's always this going joke, like, how many people is on your Netflix account who's actually paying for Netflix, because somebody is always on the host account, and I happen to be that person. So I found that to be interesting. That's not going to impact me at all unless I have to add those sub accounts. So maybe that will impact me just a tad bit. But anyway, before we get into the next topic, let's do a commercial right quick.
Y'all, it's your girl Miss Michi checking in with my girl Renita from Be Your Own Kind. You know that's my sis. Make sure that you tune in every Thursday to the Blueprint Live at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. And then you can catch me on Fluent Radio, Philly Jams 95.3, Indie 101.5, and Mixed Talk Media. And I'm available anywhere that you listen to podcasts, okay, and your radio shows. So get on it, okay? Let's do this. I love to connect with you and promote what you got going on. Let's get it. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Blueprint Live, visit thebpmediaco.com today.
Okay. We are back. Make sure if you want any of her services, if you're interested in advertising on her platform, if you're interested in voiceovers, go ahead and email Miss Michi at contact@missmichi.com. Also, make sure to follow her to keep up with everything she's got going on Instagram on Miss Michi at Miss Michi. Also, she has a live show. She goes live 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll be able to know all of that if you're going over to Instagram and follow my partner right now. Okay, so let's get into the next topic. I thought this was so inspirational. Like I said, I just found just some random topics that I wanted to talk about that were pretty light, because I feel like after Kanye West, I needed to talk about something light. So Bianca is someone that I interview on the BYOK podcast, which you can always find on www.beyondkind.com if you want to get into learning more about who she is. However, this was a word today, and I just wanted to share this with you all. Let me refresh.
So I was packing my bags last night because I'm heading out on a flight today. And as I'm packing and all of that, I noticed that my nails chipped. I'm leaving the next day, so I'm annoyed. I got clients the next day before I head out on this flight. I had this gap. I got things prepared in my gap to do while I go get my nail chipped. Anyway, have my break with my clients, still leaving the office, still complaining in my head. And I had to catch myself. One, I can leave my office without no one asking me questions. Two, that I have a 2-hour gap to get this done. And three, that I live around the corner from my office, so I can actually go to my nail place to get this done. Gratitude changed my whole vision, changed my whole perception. It could be really hard when you struggle with perfectionism and things don't go to plan. Just choose gratitude.
I love that, because trying to reach perfection is depressing, because we're never going to be perfect, right? We're never going to be perfect, but perspective is everything. And I agree with her, because recently I have been resting in the place of gratitude, and it has changed my whole mindset. Normally I think, the world is falling, Rome is burning, and when I come from a place that I have everything I need at this moment and I'm not lacking, it changes your whole mindset. Actually, it opens up opportunities and things for you, because you're looking at it from a place of, I guess, gratitude, looking for a place of, okay, I want this thing, but I'm okay without it in this moment. And I feel like when you lessen the space of looking at what you don't have, when you lessen the space of complaining or any negative thoughts, and you leave room for positivity, and you leave room for just accepting life how it is and your gains in that life, I think it leaves room for opportunities to flow in your life. It's all about perspective. Everything is always about perspective. And no, Rome could still be burning, but it is your perspective that matters the most. This is her caption on here. I can still get really frustrated when things don't go to plan. So can I. You see, perfectionistic thinking doesn't allow room for life to happen. It can be very rigid. As a result, you feel really frustrated and annoyed when things don't go as planned. In these moments, gratitude helps me shift my perspective and allow room for the unexpected. It also helps calm me down and put a smile on my face. If you're struggling with unrealistic expectations and perfectionistic thinking, grab a copy of my a copy of my ebook, It's Okay to Be Imperfect. So make sure you check her out. She's Authentically Be You on Instagram. And in our interview, she did talk about releasing perfectionism, and because it's unattainable. Trying to be something that you think you should be at this time, in this moment, in this place, that's stressful. That is one of the reasons why I have Be Your Own Kind. Because sometimes it's just okay to be, whether it be good or bad, whether it be happy or sad. Sometimes it's just okay. Matter of fact, all the time, it's okay to just be. It's okay to just sit in your existence and be okay with that, without those added expectations that we place on ourselves. Sometimes I feel like I feel like I stress myself out sometimes more than anyone outside of me ever could. So I like that word. I thought that was very positive. So I found this to be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So courtesy of GoBankingRates.com. Don't know how I ended up here, but there are a couple of articles from here tonight. So Biden is set to release more oil reserves. What will it mean for gas prices? This is why I brought this up. So with gasoline prices ticking higher, let's start over. With gasoline prices ticking higher recently following a months-long decline, the Biden administration plans to release even more oil from the nation's emergency reserves as a way of bringing more stability to the market. According to the White House fact sheet released on October 18, President Biden has directed the U.S. Department of Energy to issue a notice of sale today for 15 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to be delivered in December. The president is prepared to authorize significant additional sales in coming months if conditions require, the fact sheet noted. This represents a major step for the administration, but not a new strategy. As Go Banking Rates previously reported, the Biden administration first tapped the reserves in November 2021, then followed that in March 2022 by ordering the release of 1 million barrels of oil a day for 6 months. That was the largest release from the reserve in its nearly 50-year history. Earlier this year, the Energy Department said it was planning a new method of buybacks to permit a competitive fixed price bid process as an alternative to index pricing. Another potential move is putting temporary limits on exports of fuel so more gasoline and diesel will remain in the United States. But a decision on that is not expected before next month's midterm elections. The administration's decision to tap into more of the emergency reserve follows a recent announcement by OPEC and its oil exporting allies to reduce oil production by 2 million barrels a day to boost prices. So, meanwhile, the national average gas line price hit $3.85, what is this, 85 for a gallon as of October 19th. That's down from 3.9222 a week ago, but up from 3.677 a month ago. Prices fell steadily during the summer and early fall after hitting an all-time high in mid-June, but have lately begun to move higher. So basically, gas is going up. um, this is just the crisis, the whole oil industry now, and things that are going on in Russia, and how much of this reserve do we have is my question. So it makes me a little concerned, like how much of this reserve do we have, and if the fact that we are thinking of declining exporting this oil, it makes me feel like we could be running a little low here. Yeah, I'm a concerned citizen. I am a very concerned citizen. So, So this next topic is so random. So I was having a meeting with my coworkers today, and someone had asked the question like, how much is it to be a woman? Is being a woman more costly than being a man? So um quite naturally, yes, and it's and here are some of the reasons due to that. Like one, let's just go through it. Let's just go through it because I'm gonna jump ahead of it. So this is probably how I ended up on this site to answer my own question. So according to GoBankingRates.com, here are 8 hidden costs of being a woman. The pink tax. Women have to pay more than men for the same product. This is easy to check in hygiene, cosmetic, and personal care products. How many eyeliners do you have to buy? How many feminine products do you have to buy? You know what I'm saying? Like how we have to constantly buy certain things because we have, extra health things going on with us. The discrepancy is known, or anatomy things. The discrepancy is known as the pink tax, which is nothing less than a business practice that taxes products aimed at a female target market with higher prices. All you have to do is visit the supermarket and compare the prices of the same product for him and her, like deodorants. In most cases, the extra cost for products aimed at women is simply based on a difference in color. Pink. Shut up. We just talked about this. Makeup. For those of us that wear makeup, even for those of us that are not heavy on makeup, we're still getting lip gloss, still getting facial creams and all of that stuff. So even if you're not a makeup person, you're getting some type of products to keep that skin glowing, right? So as someone who called in sick to a retail job, who was told to come in anyway, and then later sent home because I looked like a cancer patient as I wasn't wearing makeup, it's safe to say women are widely expected to wear makeup to look put together and professional at every turn, even in an office on casual Friday. You can't dictate what I put on my face. If I look dead, I look dead. Until society wakes up completely to the fact that women don't need a radiant complexion to be at their best, women can save by sticking to simple and multi-purpose makeup. Whatever your makeup routine is, try to streamline it. Maybe that means having multi-purpose cosmetics like tints that double for cheeks and lips, or a simple eyeshadow crayon you can swipe over your lids. Additionally, find brands you like and shop with them. Or if you're not into makeup, you don't have to be into makeup. But make sure you take care of your skin. Make sure you moisturize, especially in this winter. Keep that face moisturized because that cold will crack your skin, baby. Another hidden cost of women are clothes, right? First of all, before I even read this paragraph, places like Shein is a mess because everything is like super cheap and it actually fit. Like, it's me being a plus size woman and I took a chance, right? I'm like, today I'm going to take a chance. So I ordered like some things from Shein and they actually fit and I've been hooked ever since. Ever since. Like, I have to remember there are other stores because you're going to wait. You're going to wait a minute for the Shein clothes. But for places like that, yes, you have an abundance of clothes because they cost you nothing. So men can get away with 1 or 2 suits. First of all, men clothes sometimes range higher than women because they're more about quality, and I feel like we're more into the trends and quantity. But anyway, men can get away with 1 or 2 suits, a variety of button-up shirts, and a handful of ties to wear day to day. Women, on the other hand, are expected to have their own suits, dresses, blouses, dress pants, button-ups, and a number of colors and more. Oh my God. Women who are feeling pressured to own a wide array of clothing should embrace the capsule wardrobe, which we're going to get into in 5 seconds, which values quality over quantity and revolves around basics that can be used for several types of outfits. These days, you can easily build a work wardrobe with a few pair of dress pants, maybe a skirt or 2, and quality made button-up shirts to pair with a blazer or nice sweater. You don't have to have different blouses for every day of the week through every season. You don't, but we do. We do it all the time. I don't know how many shirts I have, the same shirt that's in different colors or have polka dots, like the same type of skirt that are different colors and have polka dots. I love polka dots. But they're saying that it's not necessary. It's not necessary until somebody calls you out for wearing the same pair of pants and shirt, right? So let's stop for a minute, and I want to get into this capsule conversation right quick because I never heard of a capsule wardrobe. So this is still on the same site, y'all. So how to build a capsule wardrobe on a budget. here's the question. Where was it? Where it says, what the heck is this? So it says, let's get one thing. Wait a minute. Ever had the grand idea to overhaul your entire wardrobe? Several years ago, I did, aiming to look more like who I am, a confident, successful corporate account manager. I revamped to the tune of $19,000 worth of new designer clothes in 1 year. Yes, you read that right. It was the biggest money mistake I've ever made. Let's get one thing straight about my $19,000 wardrobe mistake. Mistake. Oh my God. That's what she calling it. I went into it blindly. I had no plan, no real idea of my personal style, and I bought items on an emotional whim, only to take them to consignment several months later, realizing they weren't me or were uncomfortable to wear. So we get stuff off a whim, like, especially when I'm bored. Like, I don't know if you've ever been bored and you just scrolling through the clothes or whatever, and you're just like, oh, this is cute. Shein is one of those places, right? And half of that stuff, to be honest, that I bought, I've only worn once. And when I go in my closet, it's almost like going into a store because I clearly forgot about it. Like, I wanted it at that moment, but then I don't care about it anytime else. So what I've started to do is keep it in that cart and ponder it. And then when they send you those emails like, you still got some in your cart. And if I still feel like I want it, I get it. If I'm like, I don't get it. And that saves me a lot of money. A lot of money. So she said, after seeing my mistake in a yearly budget recap, I realized spending $19,000 in 1 year on clothing was ridiculous. Have you ever sat and tracked how much you spend on clothes, boots, things of that sort? Like, I'm afraid to do that. So she said, sure, she was earning good money. Well, yeah, $19,000, but no one needs that many expensive clothes. The average person spends $1,900 a year on clothes. So here it is. Understand what a capsule wardrobe is. A capsule wardrobe refers to a limited selection of complementary and interchangeable clothing items. It allows you to create a wide variety of outfits with a small selection of clothes. Sounds like what is that word? Where you're simple. I forget what it's called. Capsule wardrobes became a trend back in the 1970s when boutique owner Sussy Foe started selling minimalistic. That's what it is, minimalistic looking high quality clothes that can easily mix and match. So here's the thing. Figure out how you want to look and get organized. So basically she's saying find a style, find functionality, and go from there. The second thing is get chic with neutrals. So instead of getting like the pinks and the blues and the brights all the time, which I simply love bright clothes. I'm wearing something bright now. But she says neutral colors like tan, black, cream, and brown are preferred over bright purples and blues. It's better to have solid colored tops, pants, and dresses so that everything can be paired together. That's true. But sometimes you don't care about matching. I'll put a flower with a polka dot. Meet me on an audacious day. Number 4, understand what you need. By sitting down and understanding what I wanted and needed from a wardrobe, I was able to focus my shopping outings. Armed with a list of key pieces, a color palette, and knowledge of styles that flatter my skin tone and body type, I was able to curate a practical wardrobe I loved that made me feel confident. Having guidelines for your wardrobe stops you from buying anything outside of your rules. Number 5, choose only quality investment pieces. So she says if you save up to buy quality now, you'll save money by not having to replace items every year. Like if you're buying things from Shein, you kind of risk the chance of it um shrinking up in the dryer or colors bleeding because it's cheap material, right? So her point is she went from buying ill-fitting, cheaply made Gap jeans for $80 to North American made fit like a glove Citizens of Humanity or Page jeans for $200. They fit well, last year's instead of months, and she only has 3 pairs. So she said set wardrobe intentions or goals. So she's saying buy no more than 3 pieces per season. Only buy when something is worn and unrepairable. Choose items based on your lifestyle, how they fit and make you feel. Do you feel confident wearing it? Is it comfortable to wear? Purchase only from a select list of ethical quality designers that you love. So her thing is find a fashion lane and stick to it. Set a budget. That's pretty obvious. And know where to shop to save, like places like Target. I don't know why Target is on this list because Target is not cheap. So Target, TJ Maxx, and Ross offer affordable basics. She should have just thrown in Kohl's in that case. At these stores, you will most certainly be able to find whatever you need to achieve your desired looks for your new wardrobe capsule. And it says you have less upkeep. Because if you're buying more expensive clothes, if you're targeting what you're shopping, you save money buying clothes. Now, I'm not saying this is something that I'm going to adapt, but it is a pretty good idea if you want to save money. I do like the fact of each season just buying a couple of things instead of buying a whole bunch of things. We're not growing people. I mean, unless you gain or lose, you gain a lot or lose a lot of weight. Most of the times we could keep our clothes much longer than kids because we don't have growing pains and we're not growing out of our clothes essentially. So I thought that was a cool and random subject. So anyway, another hidden cost for women are shoes. Where you got to wear pumps, you got to wear boots with heels, flat boots, dress boots, casual boots. It's just so much in that. Another hidden cost is handbags. I really honestly don't buy a lot of purses. In that case, the purses that I have, they last for years because I do actually just get the expensive purses and call it a day. Hair coloring, not my story, but I do have to pay like for braids, $200 to $300 for braids, but they last for months. I'm natural, so I have to get like the natural projects, the natural products, and they last for a pretty long time, except for like my co-washing and my conditioner, because that's what I wash my hair every week when it's not in braids or whatever. And especially in the wintertime, you got to get the products to keep it moisturized during the cold weather. So yeah, I can see hair being a major expense. Menopause, why this is on the list, I thought this was interesting. She said in UK alone, approximately 900,000 quit the workforce due to menopause, according to a 2019 survey by BYOK. Around 50% of people experiencing menopause are less likely to go for a promotion. Didn't know this. Women are being held back at their most productive and potentially economically successful time in their lives. Think about the loss of salary and pension contributions this leads to. It's no wonder the gender pay gap is widest in older women. This is a major hidden cost for being a woman. So you're losing more money because you're taking less risk and you're not up for promotion because of your age. And the last thing they said was safety. And I thought this was kind of interesting. When women are traveling alone, we tend to have to spend money on things like pepper spray or private housing and pricey transportation because you're afraid of going to another country, getting on public transportation, and possibly disappearing. So they say that women, when women are alone or single, they have to put more money into staying safe. So I thought this was interesting. So that are some of the hidden costs of being a woman, y'all. Being a woman is expensive, but it's worth it. It's worth it. But hopefully you learned something from that. So let's get into a commercial from our sponsor, BetterHelp, and then we'll get into some more topics. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. People often think anxiety looks one way, but it has many faces and many emotions that sometimes can be overwhelming and daunting. I know about this feeling all too well because at a point I felt powerless to my emotions, almost to the point of drowning in them. So I decided to seek out a therapist to later learn that I have generalized anxiety disorder. If you have been experiencing the same feeling, please know that BetterHelp is here to help. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. You have the option of talking with a therapist in a private, online environment at your convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in under 48 hours. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific need, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Then you will schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you get to exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. Thanks to therapy, I learned the tools that I needed to conquer my anxiety and over-obsessive thinking. I did it afraid, and I took that leap to talk with someone, to later learn that it was going to be okay and that I was going to be okay. Please know that you can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 3 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. And better yet, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/BYOK. That's betterhelp.com/BYOK, because you deserve it. And you do. This should be an added cost for anyone. There should be a cost for self-care, which can include therapy, which can include vacationing, or doing those little activities that allow you to pour back into yourself. That's just a tidbit I was just thinking of. But if you need to speak to someone that's unbiased and someone you don't know, I always recommend therapy. Therapy has changed my life. I used to worry about absolutely everything, hence the generalized anxiety disorder. And my therapist helped me sort out those thoughts from fallacy and from reality. So if you want to try out BetterHelp, for the first month, you'll get 10% off if you use the link www.betterhelp.com/BYOK. All right. So let's get into our next topic. I thought this was so interesting. Even though this is low key an ad, I thought that that this was so interesting. This is courtesy of Womanure on Instagram. The question is, are you bullshitting or bossing up? So, if you are the latter, bullshitting, it says you are scattered and stagnant. If you're bossing up, clarity and conquering. If you're BSing, you're playing victim. If you're bossing up, you're taking responsibility. If you are BSing, you are procrastinating. If you are bossing up, you're getting things done. BSing, all in your feelings. Bossing up, emotional intelligence. Oh my God, they have us taking like an emotional intelligence class, or we're reading a book right now, which is sitting right here. Let me move this. I'm reading this right now, and it is life changing. Let me stop this for a minute. It is Emotional Intelligence 2.0. It is a Wall Street Journal bestseller by Dr. Travis Bradberry and Dr. Jean Greaves. Yeah, if you want to know like your I don't want to say weaknesses, but your strengths and things that you need to work on, this is the book. And it even have like a quiz you can take after you read the book and you practice, what they're saying. And 6 months later, you can actually measure your emotional intelligence. The thing about emotional intelligence is it can increase and decrease in different areas, which with IQ it doesn't. If your IQ is something, your IQ is that for life. I learned that from this book. And what your IQ is, it doesn't mean that you're smarter than someone. It just means that this is how you process information. This is how you learn. That's what IQ is all about. So I know people use it as a flex, as I'm smarter than you, but you just may process information differently than the next person, and it doesn't change. But you can improve, your emotional intelligence in different areas. So I do recommend this book. That was a shameless plug. I don't get paid for that, but I thought that I would share that. So let's get back to this Instagram. So if you are BSing, you are finger pointing, bossing up, holding yourself accountable. Okay, the latter, BSing, always hosting a pity party. And here's the thing. I think that there's a thin line between a pity party and a venting session. I think a pity party is when you are talking about it and you just plan on staying there. I think venting is getting it off your chest and like, okay, all right, I'm feeling how I'm feeling. Okay, feel how you feel, how long as you want to feel, but okay, what am I going to do about it? That's the difference. So if you're bossing up, you're talking to a support group, I feel like that's the thing. The only difference between that is you're going to have a solution afterwards and you're going to not stay there. BSing is making endless excuses. Oh my God. And bossing up is stepping up to the plate, basically doing it scared, basically creating a routine, basically being consistent with what you're trying to do. BSing is ready to give up. And I don't agree with that, because you do have those times, especially when you're an entrepreneur or you're doing anything, where you do be like, screw this. I'm sick of this. Once again, as long as you don't stay there. It is so natural to feel defeated when you're working so hard and it just seems like it's taking forever for you to reach the point that you're trying to get at. But just don't stay there. I say that for all of this. Just don't stay there. Bossing up has solutions mindset. BSing is thinking that you fail. Bossing up, lesson learned, wiser now. Anytime you have a mistake or you're going or something doesn't go to plan, learn from it. Learn from it. If anything, learn not what to do. If anything, learn a new approach. Learn a new skill to maybe to catapult to reach another level. Once again, just don't stay there. BSing, not being responsible for your decision making, and bossing up mind maps decision outcomes. Basically, if you're BSing, you're staying there. And if you're bossing up, you're solution based. And sometimes I feel like you can't also reach that point of just limbo where you're doing all the things and you're stuck. And you're stuck. That's why I think life coaching is such a lucrative business right now, because it helps people get unstuck. It kind of pushes you out of like a, I don't know, a ping pong, like, just try to get you out of that spot and give you a new perspective. So sometimes it doesn't mean that you're not trying. It doesn't mean that you're making excuses or BSing. It could be that you're stuck. So if you're stuck and you want to get unstuck, that's a totally different thing. And also, and always ask for help. I feel like I had to learn it. Like, I had to do all of this. Why does God have billions of people on earth? And I'm sitting here struggling. Something that I'm not strong at, not my talent. It is definitely somebody that can do things for me. There's different perspectives. It's not just your perspective, and it's different ways to do things. And you have to accept your wheelhouse and what's in your wheelhouse and what's out your wheelhouse. And things that's outside of your wheelhouse, that's where you build a community. Iron sharpens iron. I say that all the time. So this is what Woman Nora said. At the end of the day, you are ultimately responsible for you, and you're in charge of your vision, of living out the dream of your dream lifestyle. Being a CEO, you're responsible for your habits, thoughts, actions, and decisions. Matter of fact, that's the only thing we technically can control, right? You're responsible for your success, failures, and the quality of your life. That means it's up to you to take full ownership of your life, girlfriend, and what happens to it. So I love what she is saying. I love this saying. If you want to follow her, she's Womanor on Instagram. So I thought that was pretty cool. So if you guys are familiar with the Housewives of Potomac, she's not even on there no more, but you're familiar with Miss Monique Samuels, right? She's married to an ex-football player. She got into a fight with one of the girls named Candace, so she got kicked off. Yet I still follow her because she is a vibe. So I was so heartbroken when I found out that, when I saw this on People, which come to find out isn't true, but we'll get into that in a minute. But People says that the Monique Samuels and husband Chris are separating after 10 years of marriage. They went on to say that multiple sources confirmed to People that the Real Housewives of Potomac alum 39 and the former NFL player are splitting after 10 years of marriage. The couple share 3 children, Christopher Chase and daughter Milani. The Samuels relationship issues were well on display during the first season of Love and Marriage. A second season of the On reality show has been announced. Hey, married couples, stay off that show, because every time people on that show, something happens. People have reached out to the couple for a comment. Let me slow down. Early on Sunday, the Real Housewives of Potomac panel at BravoCon, Monique's former co-star Ashley Darby opened up about her friendship with Monique, saying the two had lunch just last week and that Monique was going through some personal things at the moment. Why are we sharing that? In July, Monique told Entertainment Tonight about the state of her marriage while she was filming the Potomac, RHOP. People always say that reality TV tears your marriage down. What people don't realize is that Real Housewives of Potomac actually in some ways saved my marriage, she revealed. Chris and I, before we started filming that show, we were in a really tough place. Here's the thing. Marriage is not always whistles and bells. Marriages work. So just because you're having a rough patch, that doesn't automatically mean divorce. That doesn't automatically mean separation. some couples actually choose to work on it, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think that we need to quit sensationalizing divorce and separation anytime it seems like they're not the quote unquote what we think that marriage should look like. Some couples actually, you're gonna reach a rough patch anytime you're living with someone, and anytime two people are constantly evolving, you're gonna hit a brick wall. But it's what you do about it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she said we had lost all of the dating in our marriage. Once we started filming reality TV, it actually helped us because it forced us to date. So we were able to get out, just reignite that intimacy and be excited about each other. So I will not lie. Season 2 of Real Housewives of Potomac saved my marriage. And at the end of the day, sometimes you still have to come back to those moments, because some of the things that I expressed on Love and Marriage, DC people who watched Potomac saw I had those same concerns back then. So it's not like it's something new. She was very open and transparent on the show about things that she was looking for from Chris. Because she's a giver, and she was constantly giving, and she was looking to be poured back into. She was that's why I love Monique, very transparent. Let's see. So it's saying, what something more she said is, it was a crazy ride. It's not easy doing reality TV. And to be quite honest, I'm over it, she explained at the time. I appreciate everything that people have done for me. Everybody that's been Team Monique, I love y'all. I thank y'all. But when you cross certain lines, there's no going back. This is when she said she's not coming back to Housewives of Potomac. I wonder if that was even an option. I wonder if that was a breach of contract with the fight. But that's a whole nother subject. Monique is a vibe. So last night, which I still haven't got a chance to watch the whole thing, Monique and Chris did go live on YouTube, and here is some snippets that they shared on her Instagram. So here we go.
Ashamed of themselves.
Let's start over.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
People magazine.
They created an article without any confirmation, without any statement from the married couple, supposed to be a credible source. And they said, we're going to run with the story anyway.
No fact check. None of that. I told her, I said, Lord, thank you for a strong woman that held me down when I was asleep for 12 years. Literally, not 12 years. And that was after I retired. 12 years. When God says he gives you a helpmate, he gave me the perfect helpmate. Because literally when I was in sleep mode, not passionate about anything, and I put a stamp on everything of what I provided, that wasn't what she wanted. She wanted me. She wanted vulnerability. She wanted me to talk to her in depth. She wanted conversation. Right. She wanted equal partnership, not the money. She wanted me to put input into the family. And I love my family. I love them the way I thought they should be loved. But at the end of the day, it wasn't until I went down to Florida, shout out to Caleb on it. Like Caleb literally set this whole thing up, and I won't give his whole story of why he set it all up. But I'm in a room with 20 other guys that felt like I felt, retired NFL guys. Not passionate about anything because they didn't understand that it was all about football. Now that we're transitioning over, what's next?
Do you really think that something this major, we would allow somebody else to speak for us?
Right.
We would be giving a statement. We would be telling you, and I would be giving an exclusive on my own darn platform. People Magazine ought to be ashamed.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. So she's right. Like I said, she's been really transparent. It looks like they're working on their marriage, what they should be doing, because when you're married, it's a constant work on it. I've been married for 12 years, so I can attest to that. So what she says in the caption is, thank you to everyone that joined our live show on Monday on my Tea with Monique YouTube channel. Your support is beyond appreciated. Shout out to the real journalists and the Pages platforms who corrected this fraudulent divorce narrative. And then she's just telling people to visit her channel. She said, lastly, she says, visit my channel for the full video where I also address Ashley. Oh, I didn't see that earlier. Lastly, I also addressed the lies that came out of the wrinkled, saggy neck last lady doing Bravo.com. Visit. Oh, okay. So I feel like I got something to see. This might be a part 2, honey. So anyway, Ashley is always saying something though. Like, I don't even know why people tell her things, because if you watch the show, she's always the I haven't seen House. I missed the last season, and I haven't even started this season, so I'm so lost on what's going on with the Housewives of Potomac. But I'm glad that they cleared the air. I'm glad that they're not getting separated, because I can't take no more. I can't take anymore. So before we get into the last subject, let's get into this last commercial. If you've been wondering how you can help the BYOK platform, you want to know more, here are 3 ways that you can support my platform. Number 1, share. This is the best option because it's free. All you have to do is press the button, share here, share there. And if you want to take it a step further, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, Van. The second thing is we have Ko-fi, which is a platform where you can donate your matcha tea. $3 at the least. Anything, any money that you have given into the platform, we thank you and we appreciate it. No amount is too small, and of course, no amount is too big. And then the third thing, subscribe to our mailing list. Another free thing. Also, all of the content that is in the newsletter will not always be posted on social media. As always, thank you for your support, and as always, be sure to be kind to yourself and each other. Okay. So, you heard the recorded me. If you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. If you're on Twitch, be sure to follow me. If you're on Facebook, like my page and follow me. I am BYOK24 on absolutely every social media platform, and you can always sign up to my mailing list at www.beyourOwnkind.com. I do have some blog posts in the works that will be posted very shortly, and I do have some interviews. One of my interviews kind of fell short, so that's why last week I didn't have one, but I do have some interviews coming up, and I can't wait for that. If you want to be interviewed on the platform, go to the site beyourOwnkind.com, send me a chat. There's also a link at the beginning of on the home page for you to sign up to be on our platform. We can't wait. So let's get into this last topic. Y'all know on a certain time my brain goes blah. So I wrote a post about Chrisean and Blueface because I wanted to get an understanding of what the heck. So recently she has gotten her 8th tattoo with him on her neck. And I'm just like,
I know that ain't my tabletop she got on.
Like, what? So the fact that the media is sensationalizing this toxic relationship is just crazy to me. And so they're calling a reality show Crazy in Love. What? So it says, courtesy of XXL, it looks like Blueface and Chrisean Rock's volatile relationship has been captured on camera for a new reality show called Crazy in Love. So on Sunday night, the Zeus Network, and I really want to talk about the Zeus Network because I'm wondering, is there any positive programming on here? Because anything that I ever see of Zeus, I mean, it's given reality TV, but is it highlighting any positiveness? I'm wondering. But anyway, Zeus Network shared on Instagram the trailer for the upcoming show, which is sure to be filled with all kinds of drama. The trailer is scored by Holland Snake Slayer's I Was Born to Haunt You, and starts off by showing Blueface and Chrisean Rock hugging and caressing each other under low lights. After a heart-pumping sound effect, things go black and the video clips change to actual moments taken from their wild relationship, including scenes featuring toe-sucking, tears, and tussles as the score of Chrisean's Rock single Vibe plays. The show is revealed to be coming soon. Why are we publicly airing domestic violence? So new show alert, the IG caption read for the trailer, it's a love only they can explain. Get ready for Chrisean and Blueface. Are taking us on their crazy journey to love. Is this love, though, or is this just the only love that they know, maybe? They say if the cameras have been following the couple for the last 4 months, they've surely captured some explosive footage. Blueface and Chrisean Rock's toxic relationship has played out in the public and on social media often. Back in May, Rock claimed she fought Blueface's mother and sister. A few months later, the couple was captured on camera fighting on a Hollywood sidewalk. Days later, Rock was reportedly arrested after video surfaced of her assaulting Blueface outside a club in Arizona. Last month, Blueface got into a fight with Chrisean's Rock father. which is captured in the trailer below. So I guess this is the trailer. Let's check it out.
I was born to haunt you, terrorize you with my love. Yes, to taunt you.
I love you. Oh, Jess.
What?
It's a vibe all the time. It's a vibe all the time. It's a vibe.
Okay. So if I have to give my 2 cents on this, I only have one word. Why? So Jess Hilarious kind of summed up like what Zeus is doing, and she doesn't understand it either. So I want to get into what she said recently, and it made a lot of sense.
This nigga Ted, yo, look, she ain't nobody love her like that, so she think that's love.
Right.
That's not fucking love, Chrisean. That's not love. Like, that shit gets me very emotional every day. Like, you got Natalie Nunn and shit like out here, they exploiting shorty. She running up on motherfuckers and fighting every day, and Zeus clown ass motherfuckers making all this money off this bitch. Like, I'm knocking on, man, listen. Get me a deal with UFC then. If I like to fight, get me a deal here. Y'all got me on this clown ass network. But I got this nigga Ted.
So she just, and it was other shots where she was just saying she just gets so emotional because she feels she's scared for Chrisean. And to be honest, so am I. But she makes a point. If this is the only love that you know, this is the familiar love that you know, then you embrace it and you think that this is what you're supposed to, what you're supposed to have, and I just want to give a little background of her life, which I actually wrote about it. This is on my site, BYOK.com, because I did the research. So I'm like, I might as well read what I wrote, and it's pretty short. It's basically talking about both of their backgrounds and the stuff that has happened to them to date when I wrote this. And I think I wrote this back in September. So anyway, let's just talk about Chrisean and to why I understand why she thinks that this is normal. So I said, this is who is Chrisean Rock? I didn't know who she was beyond this tooth when she had tattooed the tooth on there. So I said, according to Chrisean's Shade Room interview, which you should check out, she grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and was the 11th sibling out of 12. She mentioned being homeless from the age of 9 to 18 while managing to become a track star during high school. Although she was a fast runner, she always dreamed of becoming an actress in the limelight. However, her home life was volatile, as she grew up in a home that involved her father abusing her mother. This is her norm. This is her norm. For people that don't understand it, this is her norm. She mentioned when she witnessed her dad choking her mom when she was 8. Unfortunately, Chrisean was exposed to her mom getting used by other men, which led to her mom's drug addiction. At 18, Chrisean moved out of Baltimore to California to pursue her athletic career. She indicated her move was a faith launch, and she depended on God to make a way. Chrisean has a strong spiritual side and had commented on Jesus being her best friend and paving the way for her. Before approaching her newfound fame, she won $10,000 from an ultimate tag game. So this is what landed her in California when she won that ultimate tag game. So shortly after moving to California, she became a contestant on the Blueface Bad Girls Club, which is how they met. While in the cast of the show, she lost her tooth when getting into a physical altercation with Blueface's baby mama, Jaden Alexis. No, Jaden did not knock out her tooth, but Chrisean hit her mouth on the surface and the tooth came out. So she was also the first artist that was signed to Blueface. So this is a person who, at a young age, experienced domestic violence between her parents, was homeless. She said that she would go to her teammates and coaches' houses to eat, anything to not have to be in the environment with her mom. Her mom was addicted, and probably we don't know what happened with that as far as the men that she dated. And this is not making an excuse, but this is sometimes we need context to understand like the behavior pattern of people. She's tattooed like this Blueface, like Jess said, is the only love that she's used to, and to her, the only love that she know. They trauma bond because he had his own situation here. Just to give a little context of him, he was born and lived in early childhood in Los Angeles. His parents split, forced him to live in between homes for most of his childhood. His mother was an aspiring actress and would take Blueface with her to auditions. He actually landed a role in a McDonald's commercial and admitted he didn't like acting. He attended numerous schools, so he was moving here, there, in an unstable home. But he eventually landed in Oakland and became a star quarterback in high school. So they're both competitive because they're both athletes. So because he constantly moved around, he did not have a solid set of friends. He claimed to be antisocial and was not interested in building friendships. So he's closed out for people. And I understand why you can be that way because I went to a lot of schools and I moved around a lot growing up. And so after a while, I didn't see the point of even establishing friendships and relationships because they were going to be temporary because I wasn't going to stay at said place. So when you grow up like that, you don't really look for genuine connections because it's going to be temporary. I didn't learn till I got older the importance of genuine connections, but just I'm not going to get myself emotionally attached to a person when I know that it's only temporary, so I can understand this part of this. So Blueface was a phenomenal football player and attempted for a football scholarship by submitting tapes of his games. After graduating high school, he earned a scholarship but later left college after his football career went left. He returned to California in hopes of continuing playing football, but later ended up as a barber, selling drugs and getting affiliated with the schoolyard Crips. His brother was a part of that, so that probably is how he got affiliated. He later started an Instagram page entitled The Fade Room with a myriad of eye-catching content. In 2017, he and his on and off again girlfriend from high school, who was Jaden Alexis, had a child. He later decided to take a chance on a rapping career after sitting in the studio with his friend TC. He put himself out there, out in the limelight, to create a name for himself and caught his big break when releasing his song Deadlocks. To get his name buzzing, he went on Instagram inquiring high schoolers to vote on which school he could perform. And I think Famous Crypt was his biggest hit to date. No, his biggest hit to date was Tatiana. And the rest is history. So anyway, these are two people that trauma bond. At the end of the day, these are two people that trauma bonded. And they're still trauma bonding. And this is why they think that this is okay. And it doesn't matter what anybody say. It doesn't matter what, how anyone try to convince them that they're toxic for each other. They're not going to separate until they actually see how toxic it is for themselves. I just pray that they don't severely hurt each other, because they're both fighting, and she hits hard like a man, and she's in survival mode, and so is he. And that's dangerous. And they're wrapping it up as love, and that's dangerous. So I'm not just scared for her, I'm scared for him too, because they're abusing each other. And I don't know, it's sad to see, but what really irks me are these people that are older that's monopolizing off of this and monetizing this toxic relationship, because all you're doing is for viewing purposes and it's entertaining us, but these two are actually living this. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand, Jess Hilarious sentiments when she says like, this is ridiculous. And I blame the older adults, because they're in their 20s, for allowing this to keep going forward. So as I always do, I just want to say, like, if you are in a situation of domestic violence and you don't know where to turn, you can call 1-800-799-7233 for resources and for help. And I'll put that out on the screen right now. 800-799-7233, because you deserve a fulfilled life. And Love is not battering and beating you across the face. And abuse comes in different ways: verbal, financial. It's not just physical, emotionally abuse. Abuse comes in different forms. You can also text START to 88788. I think I prematurely got off of this. Let me go back to it. Yeah, you can text START at 88788. And this is from the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So on that note, that is the end of the show for the week. As I said earlier, I probably will come on Monday next week, Monday and Tuesday. Due to some personal things going on, I will not go live after the 25th for a couple of weeks. But I will surely be back November 21st. I plan on coming back November 21st. So I will miss you guys, but I will try to pump out as much content as I can while I can for you guys, just to stay in the loop. You can always reach out to me if you have some topics that you want me to speak on, because I love researching and I love learning and talking about new things. So I wish you a great and wonderful weekend. And thank you once again for spending your time with me. It is so appreciated. So appreciated. And until next week, don't forget to be kind to yourself and to each other. Bye.